Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of the live talk show. I, Dr. Veena Girikrishnan, here today. And before we start, thank you to our sponsors, SUPERBOOST. Do not forget to subscribe us on all platforms. Well, today with me, there is a true icon that reminds us that passion has the power to transform not only an individual, but an entire generation. Our guest is a world-renowned dancer, choreographer, cultural ambassador, and the founder of the Sutra Foundation. Today, we are privileged to understand his journey, his struggles, his inspiration, and the legacy he hopes to leave behind. Let us all welcome our dear Padma Shri Datuk Ramli Ibrahim. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hi, Padma Shri.
Welcome to our show.
Good, thank you very much.
First and foremost, sir, thank you for saying yes, because it's truly an honor to have you here today.
Well, I'm surprised that you have everything worked out here. It's good to connect with you.
Definitely, sir. Serendipity. That's it, right?
The word is
That's
serendipity.
The word.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Let us start. So now I would like to understand you since your childhood, right? You were born in Kajang.
Yes.
A simple Kajang boy, right? And you started your education level in a normal Malay school, and later you went to the Royal Military Academy, I would say. Okay, sir, when did you know that you had the love for the arts and the culture?
Right. I think I was born with an artistic temperament.
Okay.
And this I recognize whether consciously or unconsciously, when even as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I was known by my mother's friends as Ramli yang menari or menyanyi and all this kind of thing. So I even sang, and I sang in a radio series.
Really? Which one?
Professionally, it's called Maiti dengan Taman Kanak-Kanaknya, which was done by Siti Hawa Zain.
Okay.
This is a long time ago when I was 8, 9, 10 years.
Okay.
And a van would come and pick me up, and we'll go to the old, not Angkasa Puri, but the old one in Bukit Aman. And I would go to the 6th floor and stand on a chair and sing and all that. And I remembered at one stage where I was accompanied by Alfonso Suliano on the piano.
Wow.
So yes, so I think I was aware of this kind of inner, what the Malay call angin.
Angin, okay.
Yeah, which means that it is an artistic temperament that is inherent. And I think all this while I've been kind of heeding this call of bliss to fulfill my personality or my psyche as an artist.
Beautiful, sir. But sir, before you went there, before you captured there were a lot of suppressed moments and emotions, right? Because yes, you did you started with Malay dance, isn't it? Zapin and all those things.
Yes.
But then life would have been hard as you were progressing, right? With a lot of tedious moments where you couldn't really express yourself to be an artist in Malaysia.
Well, when you are young, you take life in a flow. I mean, I don't think my parents understand that there is classes that I should attend in dance, or because there's no such thing at that time. So we keep expressing ourselves in a different ways. I'm drawing. I still have some of these drawings. Or I was singing. I was rather a young exhibitionist. Because anyone would ask me to dance, I would improvise.
Okay.
With that unconsciously, very unconsciously. I would dance, and some of my friends would be embarrassed by this because I would just do that. But you express. You're not very conscious that you really got to do this, that. But I think as I grow older, I was aware of that, and in my mind, when I hear something good, someone singing or dancing, in my mind I said, I can do that. Kind of thing. You as a young youth, nothing is impossible, and this is a kind of a self-protection. You're not sort of forever thinking that you have missed something, But I was also very, very compassionate to animals. I was surrounded by pets,
Even
cats.
at your young age.
Yes, very, very much, and plants. plants. I love gardening. You know, I'm helping my father with his orchids and with plants. I'd rush out to see a flower blooming in the morning and things like that. So I was artistically, and that's why I said I did not choose dance, but quoting from Martha Graham, the dance chose me.
Okay, so it was like a calling, huh?
It is a calling.
It was
yeah.
a calling.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, let's go, to the moment when you actually left after finishing your studies. You did get a scholarship, isn't it,
Yes.
from Mara, and you
Yes.
left for mechanical engineering
Right.
to Australia, right?
Right.
So how was your feeling when you first reached Australia, leaving Malaysia behind,
Right.
reaching Australia?
Yeah.
How old were you back then?
I would just I was in a way a scholar. So the
scholar.
4 of us
Okay.
from RMC, but there were some from Tengku Khrushchev College. There was some from NCKK, and this was the first Malaysian kind of scholarship given for pre-university thing. You know,
So it's a big thing that you
was a
got
big
it and you
thing.
left. Okay.
Yes, yes. I think your RMC is not going to care very much if I'm an artist.
Yeah.
They just wanted to put me into a science stream,
Right.
and that was the ethos for the government at that time. If you're good in the science, you become an engineer
Yeah.
or you become a doctor. So who cares about an artist at that time? You know, it's
Right.
now that people are starting to go into the arts because they want it, and their parents want the children to be happy.
Right.
But at that time, I was pushed into the science field. So in Australia, when I saw dance, when I saw ballet, and I immediately, almost immediately, went for formal classes in modern dance, in jazz, immediately, and eventually in ballet. And so I did ballet, and I work with the Western Australian Ballet Company for some time, and I also was a dancer with many of the musicals in
Theatres.
Perth, in
Okay.
theatre. Yes.
Cool, cool. Sir, you were a male ballet dancer, right? So I don't think there are many male ballet dancers back then.
Yes.
So how was it? Like, were you looked at in a different way when you were doing this?
So I think when it comes to male dancers, even then there was very little involvement of male dancers, but there are.
There are, yeah.
But you know, when you are young, you just do. I was studying, and engineering is
Right,
not
right.
exactly easy.
It's not easy.
But it requires me to get up early in the morning and do my bar, and to make sure that I technically every day that I had a good body, and I started rather late then, but I had to work hard
Yes.
to do that, and so I did all the examinations. Even more difficult, the Cicchetti method rather than the Royal Academy, and did up to advance.
Wow.
But male dancers were very rare,
Very
and for
rare.
that reason, a lot of the teachers gave me a kind of a scholarship, so I didn't have to pay fees for that. So my teacher were Russian with Russian name like Madame Kira Buslov and all those kind of things. But I did well in my dance. It was something natural for me. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it was happiness. I feel that it was very euphoric for you at that moment, right?
Yeah, it was.
From
Well, it's not as much as euphoric as much as it was a privilege.
privilege. Okay.
It was a privilege for me
Okay.
to do what I love to
Yes.
do, rather than solving differential equations
yeah.
and all that as an engineer,
Right.
which I still regret at the moment, because I could have been an architect or an anthropologist, which
Yeah.
is more towards the arts, because my library is full of anthropological books and
Right,
and
right.
on theatres.
So cool, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask you about the moment you met Chandra Bahnu, right?
Yes, yes.
Zamin, Mr. Zamin. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about? I think
Well,
he was someone inspirational.
Yes,
as well.
he was. He was. At that time his name was Zamin Harun.
Yes.
And I would have gone from. I've decided to concentrate instead of just performing. I want to concentrate on the technique.
Okay.
And I was at the Australian Ballet School, one of the, the most prestigious schools. Only like at that time, 7 dancers were male dancers from all over Australia, and I've got that scholarship. And I met Zamin in Melbourne.
Okay.
He was also running an Indian classical dance, and he was a kindred spirit in the sense that he was not just a dancer, but he was also a thinker. And I went out to him, and we spent more times looking at galleries and looking at painting. And this is one of the reasons why also I'm very strongly visual in my arts kind of thing. So I run a gallery also, but with Zamin, who became Chandrabanu, because Zamin is also a mix. Because
he's a mix.
Yes,
Okay.
his mother is Chinese, adopted, and his father was a Punjabi, and from Perlis, from Kangar. And we became friends, we became friends, and we were with artists, visiting galleries and all that. We did not kind of join the Malay ghetto students group, where they were in their own kind of a Malay village, cooking rendang and whatnot, kind of
ketupat
thing,
and all that.
ketupat
Yeah.
or whatever. We were on our own, mixing with the Australians, and we were, we quite in a way advanced in the way we look at. This is an opportunity for us to grow. Yeah. But with Zamin also, I was looking back into the Asian forms, and I was already interested in comparative religion and philosophy, and found that the discussion of the Asian philosophy was interesting, and with the Indian thing of dance, because they all connect, whether it's Vedanta or whether it's the Natya Shastra and all, they connect. Though I was in the classical ballet group of the Australian Ballet, which also meet up with, I actually perform for Nureyev when he came to Melbourne with the London Festival. So that's one part. But the other part, I became also interested in the Asian forms. And this is the interesting, I was one of the people that had to be outside Asia to look back again into the Asian civilization, and became very excited because of the incredible richness of the Asian civilization. And the Western one, of course, is current, it's exciting, it's modern, but I am also enjoying both worlds. And this is later on when I come back to Malaysia. I enjoyed it so much being back that although Australia had given me under their outstanding artist bill a residency, but I decided to stay in Malaysia. And this is after being invited to join the Sydney Dance Company in Sydney from my Melbourne days.
So much of experience. Just as you started, it just started growing,
Yes.
and it still never ends, right? Till today.
Oh, absolutely.
It's still going on.
Yes.
Sir, my next part is you went to India, isn't it?
Yes.
So Bharatanatyam in Chennai, and then
Yes.
Odissi in North India.
Yes.
So how long was it for you to, complete everything and come back to Malaysia?
No, I must tell you. You see, the source of inspiration is not one road.
Okay.
It's various. So
Various.
even when I was in Perth, I was mixing with many Asian groups, not just the Filipino, the Australian first Aborigines group, and all that kind of thing. So when we were in Melbourne or in Sydney, we were very exposed to the Bharatanatyam and even Odissi scene.
Okay.
So Odissi had started to take on the world, so to speak.
Right.
So there were teachers from Kalakshetra in Sydney, there were teachers from Delhi or teaching Kathak or Odissi. And when I was already famous with the Sydney Dance Company, I was doing that.
Right.
In fact, my first dance with the Sydney Dance Company was a Bharatanatyam dance.
That was the first one, was there?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay,
yes,
that's nice.
yes.
So it was like a huge performance.
Yeah, it was a performance at the town hall because at that time the artistic director of the Sydney Dance Company, Graham Murphy, had just been taken in as the artistic director. He was very avant-garde, and he didn't have sufficient repertoire. And he said, "Ramli, we know that you are doing Bharatanatyam. Why don't you just dance it?" And I did. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Sir, can I ask you?
Yes.
Now, I just wanted to ask you about your family and your parents, right? I mean, their thought was you're going to be this mechanical engineer from
Right,
Mara, right?
right.
I mean, that's when you left.
Right.
How did they react to Ramli Ibrahim now, the dancer?
Well,
Especially, you know, yeah.
I think I have a very, very liberal, it's amazing because my parents were very religious. Of course, they passed on.
Yes.
And I was a little bit precautious.
Okay.
And they, even when I was in Sydney, they had come to Sydney and saw me performed
Okay.
at the Sydney Opera House or, in many, many different parts. They stayed with me and saw how I was a kind of a minor celebrity then already. And, I was doing my Indian classical dance also.
And they were there too?
They were there too,
Okay.
So, and they were also there when I was doing some really avant-garde work where I was wearing hardly anything.
Okay.
And they seemed to take it.
So they were okay?
Yeah, they
That
were
was
okay.
like...
I think this is something to do with the Malays even then. They were much, much more open than they are now.
I think so.
Yes.
I
So this is such a pity because my parents were very religious and my mother was a religious teacher.
Oh, she was a religious teacher.
All the kids around PJ would come over, and in the morning they would be reading the Quran. My mother would be looking after them, and they would pay 20 ringgit a month.
Okay.
And I would be dancing. I would be rehearsing in the kitchen somewhere, stomping loudly.
Okay.
And I remembered one of those days when I told my mother, "Why can't I just pay you the money and just stop teaching all these people?" But all these people now still remember me as doing exactly that, dancing when my mother was teaching the Quran. So this is how Malaysian community at that time, Malay community, were functioning. They were very open.
Seems like they were more accepting back
Oh,
then.
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that's like,
Yeah.
it was easy for you. I mean,
It
with
was
your
not
family.
easy.
It wasn't easy. But
it was,
okay.
I think I was quite driven. Even then, I do exactly what I want to do.
Yes.
I did tell when I got my degree, look, to my parents that I've already got you the mechanical engineering degree, which I didn't even bother getting in the convocation. And to tell you the truth, I managed to get the outstanding alumni of University of Western Australia later. But I actually tell him, now I want to do what I really want to do.
Okay.
And please get yourself, come to terms with that.
Okay, so please accept this.
Yes.
I've given you what you want.
Yes.
Now I'm going to go after what I want.
Absolutely. And they allowed me. Yeah.
That's really, this is something very important, isn't it, sir? The support from your family.
I think family support is very, very good.
At least to understand you before you.
I don't know whether they understand me, but
at least they gave you the way.
They give you the way. I don't think they have any choice.
Right. Thank you, sir. That's really, really amazing. So I just want to ask you another question, right?
Yes.
The first time you performed.
Yes.
As this dancer, right? Full all might performing. Do you still remember the first person who came up to you and said something about your performance? The very first person
I
who
have
touched your heart.
no idea.
No idea.
Because what happened is that I am on a track on my own. I don't think I wait for anybody to give me the justification for the dance.
There you
So, a lot of people will say how wonderful you dance, but they have no idea what the journey that you've gone through.
Yes.
So you do tendency to look for absolutely the right person who understand and say, this is a good performance, Ramli, and all that kind of thing. And many times it's very difficult to extricate that from someone that you really worship. And come to think of it, I don't know. I never wait for people to justify what I do.
Right.
I can't. I cannot, for the life of me, answer when people ask me this question. What is? Can you remember? What is the wonderful, the first performance and all that? Because I have been performing.
Yes.
I've been performing since I was young.
Since you were young.
And what is your ambition and all this kind of thing? I find them almost irrelevant to my life.
Right.
Yeah.
You have already started when you were young, right?
Yes, I was. Even now, this is an ongoing journey for me.
Right.
Even if now I don't feel like dancing because of age, because of this, but there are many artistic things that I can do.
Of course.
And I'm really engaged with my life.
Definitely.
And I celebrate it.
Yes, celebrate it. That's the word. So now let's come back. Now you're coming back to Malaysia, right?
Yes.
It's definitely coming back as not a mechanical engineer, but as this dancer, right? Odissi dancer, Bharatanatyam dancer, being Ramli Ibrahim. What were the pushbacks that you faced when you came here from the country, from any departments, all those things that you faced, sir?
Well, I think Chandrabanu had warned me that there is going to be a wave of Islamic fundamentalism.
Right.
It's not just from the Shafi, but also from the Shiite, because from the Iranian kind of thing. But I really enjoyed being here in Kuala Lumpur. I was really exploring my choreography in contemporary works, apart from being a celebrity as a solo performance of Bharatanatyam in Odissi. And so it was, with the Sydney Dance Company, I was a dancer. I was almost a token Asian there, and I was literally the shortest among the huge Australian burly kind of male dancers. And but here I was, I think then I understand psychically I'm connected with Malaysia far more than I am in Australia. And this is why psychically I'm connected, I feel, with Indonesia or with India or with the Asian countries much more. And I revel in this connection. And I feel connected.
You feel
connected. And I can't remember very much when I was in Australia. I think I lead a very charmed life there. I will be in the yacht, or I will be attending performances almost every day at the at the Sydney Opera House. But just can't remember very much because I'm not connected. But when I'm there, I remember exactly which door of the Sydney Opera House, where I will be at the Opera House or the Concert Hall, and because we sometimes have a 3-month season there. So we but I can't remember because psychically it's just passed through me. But in Asia, I often feel a deja vu of, okay, I'm here, I'm there, and, I'm connected. The food, the dressing, the ikat, and the rituals. I love it.
Awesome, sir. So I just wanted to ask you, now when you came back, right, you started everything, it was progressing so well. People started to know who Ramli Ibrahim is. But with the challenges that you faced because of religious departments, for example, right? Like, because when you're dancing, we do have to chant certain things. And people will connect it to, if you're doing this, how can you do it? being, Malaysian, Malay, and all that. So when you were facing these kind of challenges, were you angry that people didn't understand the culture and arts behind what you were doing? How was your
I
feeling?
don't know. I'm not saying that I was angry, but I was. I didn't expect the whole people to understand. Even the Indians don't understand, really, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
I mean, some of my students might be going to temple left and right, but they don't know the
What
Ganesha or the Muruga or the goddess and what
Yes,
temple.
yes,
And the Malays the same. So the Chinese, yes. So I think art at its highest level uh, uh, reach out to the people who studies it. Yeah, and you can't expect the whole of the population to understand what you're doing. But as I said, in Malaysia there was already a wave of fundamentalists, extremists, even as you later on. But I think when I first came, I didn't realize how serious it's going to be. But it become worse when a lot of the art forms, say in Kelantan and all that, were banned. This is in the early 90s already. And I think I was one of the people that stood up and said that, look, what are you doing? These are the performance art, the traditional performance arts of par excellence of our nation, and to ban it is to do something terrible. Where is your identity? You cannot just take an Arab identity and transpose it to the Malays. And this is one of the saddest thing I feel that has that our leadership has allowed this to descend on the Malay culture. And for this, I pity the Malays.
Thank you, sir, thank you for being so vocal. And so this brings me to the next part, culture and arts, right? You are a legend when it comes to culture and arts here, right? Definitely, that's how we see you. But so many things are still lacking here, isn't it? And when we talk about culture and arts, you're not recognized as much as you should be. Is it because you're only the dances that you do is Odissi and Bharatanatyam? Is it because of that?
Well, I think I'm not here to be to hope to be recognized and all that. I am privileged already because I'm doing what I want to, and I don't want to say that I get away with it. But I am allowed to do that, such that people in India or people from the West look at sutra as an example or something that they themselves can't achieve. We create an oasis of very artistically charged place, not just in Indian classical dance, but also in contemporary work and also in paintings. And we kind of have the open house or the open gate for anybody to come in if they're sincere about the arts. But I think for that, I did face some kind of problems, but I am allowed to do that because I think there are still some people, that powers that be, that feel that I am, to a certain extent, the spirit of the liberal spirit that they expose, they want to have, but not allowed to say it out loud. So in a way, then I exist in spite of that. But I think I did mention the fact that the country is in a grip, in a stranglehold of fundamentalist ideology, which this is a train that is derailing. They cannot stop it, and some of us are watching in horror where this train is going to bring, especially the Malay community. But I think for the moment, Sutra has become a spirit of creativity, a liberal spirit of creativity that still say that Malaysia is a bastion of liberalism. Yeah, I'm not, but not we're not just following anybody. We feel that there are universal values that we must take in, and there are certain areas we must reform our way of thinking, or otherwise we will be going on middle age kind of a path. But as I mentioned, the country cannot just take in the protein and the carbohydrates, but I view the arts as the vitamins and the trace element that we have to consume in order the whole metaphor of the human body is holistic. Yeah. So without arts and culture, we don't have a face, and without the face, we cannot be a business hub, because then the culture and business comes together, and we don't. This is why Singapore is making sure that the culture is vibrant, but Kuala Lumpur will not be a business culture much. It will just stay up there because culturally it's still kind of underdeveloped.
Yes, it is. So what, like for example, sir, like when you look at our education system, right? What is put first is literally like maths, STEM, science, technology, and all this. So when you go, like even when I was in school, when the moment they say, okay, you go to art stream, we go to a science stream and things like that, those who are going to art stream, they will be automatically undermined and perceived as, okay, you're going to go the last class and things like that. So till now, 2026, we are at 2026, and still arts and culture is still put at the back. What should we do, sir?
So exactly, this is where Indonesia is wonderful, because they have culture as part of the education. Where culture and education stand together. Whereas we put culture and tourism, and therefore culture and arts has always been the bridesmaid for tourism, and especially when the minister is only looking at the index of success in terms of profit and cents and numbers, then the serious culture, which is the area where that face of ours is going to be projected for the whole world to see, it's marred. It's not a nice face. So this is what we are worrying in terms of the total. But I really think that the Madani government itself is a form of culture ethos. So without this cultural ethos, we don't have the empathy or the sensitivity to work in a way that is civilized. And I think arts makes us civilized. We will look at environment, we look at animal welfare, we look at town planning, we look at education in a more holistic manner. And we are not just really be so hyper capitalistic in the way we approach everything. We look at all the building, we look at it's a facade. What is the content inside? So the arts and culture provide the ethos for the content, and this is where we are lacking.
Definitely. And so much to do, isn't it? At least for the future.
I think so much to do, but we have to have the right leadership. The leadership that we have. First of all, we have, of course, knowledge is important, but sometimes I feel that we don't have to have so brilliant leadership, as long as there's integrity, there is that kind of inner authenticity in being a service to the population.
Definitely, sir. So this brings me to the next part: social media, technology, internet, isn't it? And then ChatGPT, AI, and all that. But now, when you look into social media, now you have beautiful Bharatanatyam or Odissi dance is yours. I'm not taking others, but it's so beautifully, like, you choreograph it, full of culture and arts. And then you have trends coming up on TikTok, and then you have fusion. They have fusion with like the Bharatanatyam, they fusion it with modern dance and music. And that gets more likes, more followings, more opportunities. But then when you look at the pure, where it started, the authentic, it's still not recognized much. What is your take on this, sir?
Well, I don't think we can fight Bollywood, or we can fight Lady Gaga, and
Oh,
but though I put them, at the highest in their field,
In their field, yeah.
which is a commercial field,
Right.
and they are actually also represent the era. But I think in the present era, it is not just the commercialized work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an admirer of the Beatles. They represent
yes.
that era also. But it doesn't mean that we forego the collective consciousness of the work that has been done over the years, and we must pay homage to it. And this comes under serious art. So Mak Yong for me comes under serious art, or Chinese opera, or Indian classical dance, which has been also part of the Malaysian multiculturalism, is also part of that serious work or serious art which we need to look after. And this is the index of this, is the success of this cannot be measured in terms of the profit sense. It has to be patronized, and you have to patronize the people that look after all this. You don't expect me, after all these years, to still compete with the young
The
people.
young
That is,
ones, yes.
because we are, we know that, so funding is also one of the main problem, because the funding bodies keep not knowing really what to do, mainly because they hardly much turun padang lah,
Yeah,
to look at the area of say training, the area of the problem. They think they know, but they don't actually, because because they visited a school or something like that, they know everything. But no, I don't think they do. And you can see the way that the goalpost is being changed left and center, and suddenly someone will say that, okay, we now will sponsor the training and not the performance. But they're interconnected.
Right,
But
right.
actually, this part of the interconnectedness is very very relevant.
Yeah.
So culture is interconnected with education, and it will be interconnected with youth. It will be interconnected with MOF, Minister of Finance also. So there is an interconnection with everybody. And the problem with the Malaysian scene is that the left doesn't know what the right is doing, and not even that, because they change. Everything is political. That the people who really understand feel that they've been disenfranchised. They're not asked to help create the right infrastructure for their field.
For the field.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Well said. So now I want you to tell Malaysians. Now we know about Datuk Shri. Being Malaysian, we
Yes.
know where Datuk Shri comes from. But Padma Shri, a lot of people are not aware about this Padma Shri and Padma Shri Ramli Ibrahim. When were you honored Padma Shri, and what is it all about? Maybe you can tell everyone so they know it today.
Well, actually, there's an award that is given by the artists in India. Awards are, increasingly, just like in Malaysia, people lobby for it.
Yeah.
I never think about it. So I had the Sangeet Natak Academy Award, which is given by the central government.
Oh, wow.
And this this requires me to go to Delhi to the Rashtrapati Bhavan,
It's a huge scale.
yes,
Wow.
yep, and that was given to me by the President Pranab Mukherjee, and then of course there are many awards, lifetime achievement awards that I've managed to get, like the best dancers and all that kind of thing, male dancers in India. But then the Padma Shri came in, I think, in 2018,
2018.
and was given to me by the president, Govind.
Go in.
And that was a very surprise. Actually, the at that time the High Commissioner of the High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, Mr. T.S. Murthy, called me when I just came back from India and said that, Ramli, if we give you a Padma Shri, would you accept it? And that's why I said, of course I will accept it. It's a great honor. So the Padma Shri is a really very important civilian award, but after the Padma Shri, there are others. There are 3 others at least. Above.
Okay.
There's Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan, and the Bharat Ratna, and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
I can't even think of that, because getting the Padma Shri was a great honor. I think in Malaysia there was one Padma Shri. It was Puan Sri Ati Nahapan who got it for her involvement at the Subhash Chandra Bose army, long time ago in the 30s, and I am. I mean, she has passed away. I'm possibly the only Padma Shri in Malaysia at the moment.
Definitely, legend. So now, before we end, a little bit about Sutra Foundation.
Yes.
When did you start it exactly?
Well, I started Sutra Dance Theatre in 1983. That makes us even over 4 decades.
Okay.
But the foundation itself, because for us to consolidate the legacy of Sutra, we've done so much. If you look at the map where we have performed all over the world, is quite an incredible. No organization, no performing arts would have traveled so much to all over the world.
Right.
We not only have performed in Carnegie Hall to Australia, Sydney Opera House, to some of the best theatres in India, the NCPA, and Japan, but also we have perform all over in Malaysia. From Kangar to Kota Kinabalu. So the foundation then was only be able to establish in 2007. It was also a tax exempt foundation, so it was unique. Now some of the arts organizations are trying to consolidate their activities in the foundation, but we concentrate on the performing and visual art, both traditional and contemporary. And we have a center in Titiwangsa. It's a small place, but it is a vibrant place. And we have exhibition and also performances. So it's like a laboratory where my dancers can
Evolve
just
and
So dancers need to perform. So they cannot just have once a year performance. This place we can have our studio performance. There's an amphi-sutra, and at the same time we have a huge performance, and we just finished a 6-city tour of Radhe Radhe, an Odissi production that we've just done. And we also had presented a really huge exhibition of painting, and it's a lot of Usra's work is an India-Malaysia kind of a cultural collaboration, and we've done a lot to bring about. There was a time when I think Malaysia did not think that India is that important, but India has come up to be one of the important players in geopolitical, economic, and political players in the world. And fortunately, we have already invested 4 decades of work with India, and we could go to anywhere in India and be somebody. So I can tell the Indian dancers who are well known in Kuala Lumpur, you have to prove yourself. You have to bring curry to Madras, lah, and to make the Indian recognize you, like I did.
Yeah. Awesome. And sir, I just need a little wisdom of yours for everyone who's watching out there, especially for the young ones, those who are aspiring to be dancers, arts, to invest themselves into arts and cultures, but sometimes facing backlashes, no support, discrimination. How can you stand tall against all this?
Well,
what
I
did
think,
you do when you faced them?
all of you are good in the sense that you are bringing about a much more consciousness, awareness of arts and culture. But to be a dancer, to be an artist, I think it's so difficult. You really, you cannot think of money. Money it doesn't, But at the same time, the government has to understand that the arts and culture is like the Sari. It's the Lakshmi,
Lakshmi.
that it gives
glow.
the glow
Yeah.
to the place. Come on, look. When you have a problem with the present wars and COVID and all that, what sustain you is the arts and culture.
Yeah.
Otherwise the morale of the of the people, they are going to be, but to be an artist is difficult, and I almost want to say that don't be an artist if you are weak-hearted and you think that the glamour is just a facade, but it's actually a very, very hard work, and eventually talent is not enough. You have to work hard, all these kind of things, and I almost want to say that prove me wrong. Then you can be an artist. And actually, out of all the artists, dancers, I know what it feels to be a doctor, which is very hard work, an engineer, but a dancer is even harder.
Yes, it is, definitely. You cannot just go out and dance, can you? You need to have the passion for it, the empathy with it, and also the
hard
skills
work.
and hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have one question. Can you imagine right now you're looking at yourself 30 years back? What would you tell Ramli Ibrahim 30 years back?
I think I would say that good, Ramli, you are following your bliss, and I'm a Fulbright scholar, and so I did work on Main Putri as a traditional psychotherapy healing. And I really feel that if you have a talent and you don't heed the talent, the talent will curse you back. And it will say that we give you the talent, but you didn't look after it. Somehow, that person will feel unfulfilled. And the world is not quite complete. And this is when 30 years later, and I'm saying to myself, you would have been a more destructive person because you did not heed your talent, because you were unhappy. And I actually did an article on risk management. I did.
Okay.
Because I say that it's very, very important that you don't put someone who's frustrated, can you imagine if you put somewhere in the arts administration a failed artist?
Of course.
Yes.
Or whole thing is
yes. Or a religious bigot. Yeah. So the whole thing will come down. So this is the thing. 30 years ago, I would say that it's so good, Ramli, that you follow your bliss, because you may not be rich, but you are fulfilled.
So, clap for that, Ramli, and this Ramli too.
Thank you.
And so, before we end, some sweet words for our people. You can look there and.
Well, I think this is a fantastic. It's an interview that opened me up on other areas of serendipity. That we are meeting people who have an engagement with the arts, with the animals reform act with Orang Asli, with the environment, and this is what the art does. create an empathy, and I hope all of you will somehow join us to be better Malaysians.
Thank you, sir. You know, Serendipity is one of my favorite movie. I'm not sure if you've watched it way back. This movie really touched my heart. And today when you spoke about Serendipity, I can really picture it. That's
Yes.
how it works, isn't it?
Thank you.
How beauty connects
Thank
and
you.
good souls
Thank you.
connect. Thank you for coming on our show, sir.
Thank you.
You'll always be connected.
Yes.
And you are a legend. Keep rocking, and thank you for being an inspiration for everyone, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for for following us on the Rise Talk Show, and I hope you had a wonderful time with me and Padma Shri Datuk Ramli Ibrahim. And please leave your comments, and if you want him again, do let us know also. Until we see you all again, don't forget to subscribe us, and bye bye.